Last Tuesday, I picked up my home state paper, the Providence Journal, and I saw this headline splashed across the front page. It says, "Climate change washed away, home values lost to rising sea levels." This is a study that I have mentioned here before, done by the First Street Foundation and researchers at Columbia University, that looks at what escalating flood risk is doing to coastal housing markets. That study started in Florida, peer-reviewed work in Florida, and they took that methodology and they've been working their way up the Gulf Coast and up the New England coast since then. They just reached my state and Senator Hassan's state, Massachusetts, and the report is not pleasant. They found that Massachusetts, Maine, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island lost a total of $403 million in expected property value between 2005 and 2017 due to increased tidal flooding risks. Just between 2005 and 2017, Rhode Island coastal properties lost nearly $45 million in expected value. The study called out these particular properties here in Warren, Rhode Island, that lost over a third of their value during that time frame. Rhode Islanders here in the town of Warwick lost over $4 million in home values due to the threat of climate change-driven sea level rise. Now, several studies warned how climate change will affect coastal property values. This First Street Foundation study is the first to demonstrate value loss that has already occurred, as the study itself says. A Columbia University researcher who worked on the First Street study said this: "Each time we analyze a new state, we see the same phenomenon. Increased tidal flooding leads to a loss in home value appreciation. As sea level rise accelerates, we expect the corresponding loss in relative home value to accelerate as well." Madam President, that hits home indeed.
As you can see from this photo that was taken last year in Rye, New Hampshire, stronger storms and rising sea levels are leading to increased flooding in our coastal areas. And as Senator Whitehouse mentioned, our communities are already feeling the direct economic impacts of rising sea levels. According to the First Street Foundation and Columbia University, the increased risk of flooding and damage is hurting property values throughout New England. That report states that New Hampshire has already seen a $15 million loss in property value, particularly in areas like Hampton, Exeter, Dover, and Portsmouth. Combined with the rest of the New England states, coastal properties have experienced approximately $400 million in property value losses just between 2005 and 2017. But the extent of those losses is just the beginning of the damage.